Hello everyone, today we are going to be making some vanilla cupcakes. Hope you're all well and I hope that you're all finding lots of things to do while we're in lockdown. So to start off with, you need to wash your hands, which I've already done, and you need to put on an apron if you have one at home. Make sure, girls and any boys this might relate to, make sure you have tied your hair back. So first of all, I'm going to run through the equipment that you'll need to make some cupcakes. So you're going to need a bowl, a plastic or a metal bowl. You'll need a teaspoon or a measuring 1 teaspoon. You'll need a wooden spoon and some dessert spoons. Then you need to make sure you've prepped your cupcake tray. So here, the recipe we're making today will make about 12 cupcakes. So you need a tray and some paper cases. So the ingredients we're going to use today are some butter, or I prefer to use stalk margarine. There we go, some stalk margarine, or you can use normal butter. Then we have some caster sugar that I've weighed out. So just basic supermarket caster sugar, and I've also weighed out some self-raising flour. The weights of all of these 3 ingredients are 165 grams each item. Then we also have 3 eggs, 3 large eggs, and we have some vanilla essence. So to start your cakes, first thing you need to do is switch your oven on, which we've already mentioned, so that should be heating up. And now we put our caster sugar in and our margarine or butter, depends on what you want to use. Now this needs to be mixed together until it's a smooth paste and until it is light and creamy in texture. Now you can do this with your wooden spoon. It will take a little bit of elbow grease and it will also take about 5 minutes. So for me, just to speed up the process, I'm going to use my hand whisk. If you have a hand whisk at home yourself, use your hand whisk. If you need some support to use your hand whisk, please just ask, or just go back to your wooden spoon. Make sure you scrape down the sides so that it's all combined together. So you want a nice consistency that's a paler colour than you started with. As you can see, this is starting to come together. It's a little bit paler than we started. I need a couple more minutes. Okay, so that is our butter and sugar mixed together and ready for us to now incorporate our eggs and our flour. So we take our flour and we use a dessert spoon, and we take our eggs. So eggs one at a time. We break them into a jug or another bowl, just so we can check that the eggs are fresh and there's no shell in your mixture. So add one of your eggs and add 1 spoon of flour. Now you can sieve your flour. I don't tend to sieve it myself because it's already been sieved in the supermarkets before it's put on the shelves. But if your packet's been open for a little while, then you should just give it a quick sieve. So mix that together and make sure all of the egg and all of the flour is combined into that butter and sugar mixture. Then you need to repeat the process again. So your next egg, make sure there's no shell, make sure it's fresh, and 1, and your egg, and then we mix again. So as you start mixing, it should get a little bit easier because there's more mixture to mix through. Again, make sure it's all combined before you add the next and last egg with the rest of the flour. So last egg. Add that in. And now this time you can put in the remainder of the flour. And we mix that through. So take this one a little bit gentle because you've got a lot of flour in here. So you need to be a little bit more gentle with it. And then we need to make sure that it's all mixed and combined thoroughly. As you can see, where it's all coming together. So now we just need to add our vanilla essence. So if you have a proper measuring spoon, please use this. But if not, you can just use an ordinary teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence into your mixture. And then mix all of that through so it's evenly throughout your mixture. Okay, so this looks like it's pretty much done and ready to go into our cupcake cases. So now we need to use both of our dessert spoons, and we bring over our pre-prepared tin and we use both of our spoons. So a dessert spoon of the mixture and use the other spoon to push it into your case. Now I would start with 1 heaped spoon per cupcake case, and then if you have any mixture left over, just use a little bit extra in some of those that might be slightly smaller than the others. Try and make sure the mixture is quite flat on the bottom, otherwise when it cooks and it rises you'll have an uneven cupcake. So we're going to finish filling our cases and then we're going to put them straight into the oven. It will take about 20 minutes to cook through, and then we need to test the cakes to make sure they're cooked, and we'll do that by using a cocktail stick that should come out clean, and that indicates that they're all cooked. So I'm going to get these into the oven now. When they're cooked, we'll do a test, and then once they've cooled, we'll come back and we'll do some icing. So I'm going to get these into the oven. So I have now taken the cupcakes out of the oven. They look like they are cooked properly, but just to make sure, we use a cocktail stick and just put this in the centre of one of your cupcakes, take it out. If there is no wet cake mixture on the cocktail stick, that means your cakes are done. So I'm going to let them cool for an hour or so, and then we can look at doing some icing. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is to do some buttercream to go on top of our cupcakes that are now cool enough for us to start decorating. So I've measured out 150 grams of butter. Now I know before that I said we could use stalk. In the actual cake mixture that's fine, but in buttercream we really should use butter, it tastes much nicer. So I've already started to soften my butter using my whisk. You can just use a wooden spoon to soften your butter. It's always best to soften the butter first before you start adding in the icing sugar. So we've got 300 grams of icing sugar. Again, if it's really lumpy, then give it a sieve. If not, then you don't really need to worry. I haven't sieved this. It's not too lumpy. It's come straight from the packet. Just be careful when you're incorporating and adding the icing sugar, because it does make a big mess if you put too much in at once. So you need to do a few spoonfuls at a time. As you can see, it will make a mess. So it will start getting really thick as you go along. but you will also need to add a drop of milk, which I will just get. So for the milk, you'll just need to add a splash of milk as you go along to prevent the buttercream from getting too thick. And again, another few spoonfuls. Just take your time doing this, because otherwise you're going to really have a lot of cleaning up to do afterwards. Unfortunately, this is the lowest speed on my hand mixer. It does tend to make a bit of a mess, but I'll just clear that up afterwards. If you're doing it by hand with a wooden spoon, that some of you I know will be doing, then again, you still need to take your time, because it's quite a hard job mixing all of the icing sugar into the butter. You're going to need a lot of elbow grease. So we're almost there with the icing sugar. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways of piping, or just, you know, decorating your cupcakes. If you've got a piping bag and a piping tube, then I'll show you how to do that. And if you haven't got the piping bag or the piping tube, then I'll just show you how we can do that with a regular dessert spoon that you'll have in your cupboard at home. I'm just going to put a little bit more milk, another splash of milk. It's probably about a dessert spoonful. And then I'm just going to do the rest of the icing sugar. And then mix the final. It's going to be quite a thick consistency, because you don't want it to slide off with your cupcake. You want it to make a nice pattern. Okay, so that's all of the icing sugar incorporated into the butter. Now, if you've got any at home, any food colouring, then you can be creative and you can colour your buttercream. I'm going to add a little bit of purple food colouring just to show you what it looks like. It's not essential, it's just for fun and just to make your cakes look a little bit different. So, as you can see, it changes colour quite quickly depending on the type of food colouring that you're using. So mine, the one that I've used, Colour Splash, I think you can now buy this in most supermarkets, but there are a lot of different food colours out there that you can buy. Most of them are even a liquid or a paste form, and the paste is the better, or the gel. This is a gel, so paste or gel are the better ones to use. Okay, so now we are going to pipe our buttercream. So here I have a piping tube, which you can see is a bit of a star shape, and one of my piping bags. I tend to use a large glass, and then I push the piping bag over, put my nozzle in to the end, so it's all the way through. Put that back in the glass and push the sides down, so that should give you a nice bit of space for you to fill up with your buttercream. Okay, so now we're going to put some of the buttercream mixture in, not all of it. Just because if you overfill the piping bag, it's going to be really hard work on your hands when you're piping. So we add the buttercream. So if you don't have a piping bag, you can also do this just with your spoon. So you just get your cupcake, you fill up your dessert spoon with some buttercream, and you just place that on and go around the edges, smoothing it down until you've got a bit of an even shape there. So that's what you can do without a piping bag. And then when we're going to pipe, so we take our piping tube out of the glass, leave that to one side, push your icing down right to the end, then use your pot just to squeeze the first part out, And now we're going to pipe onto our cupcake. So you want to start from the edges and pipe round and then go towards the middle and then up. There we go. So I'm going to do a couple more just to show you, and then we can do a little bit of decorating. So round we go. Keep going round towards the middle and then up. And last one. There we go. So that's our piping with your piping bag or with your spoon. So I've just, out of the cupboard, I've just grabbed some sugar crunch sprinkles. I've got some pink glitter, sugar, whatever you've got, whatever you can find, and you don't need to have any of this. They taste just as good without. So I'm just going to sprinkle and tip the cake slightly sideways so that you don't have too much waste. There we go. And then we've got some of these blue shimmer. These are just literally from the supermarket. And again, we add some of these to our cupcakes. There we go. So here are our finished cupcakes. And all there is left to do now is the washing up. So I will leave you to it. We will add the recipe to this video. If you've got any questions, give us a shout. You can do it through Facebook, you can email your project worker, or you can drop us a message. Speak to you soon.